What's up everyone? I got another lure build for you. This time I'm going to be taking a lure from the 1940s, which is actually my grandpa's, and I'm going to remake it. So you're probably thinking, why don't you just fish with this one? Well, Grandpa passed away when I was pretty young, so this was handed down to me by my mom, so I really don't want to lose it. I don't want to mess it up. I kind of like the original state of it. So I thought, why not make one exactly like it so that I can fish it? So if you've seen the other videos, you know I got a son who loves to fish and he's part of this channel. So I'm gonna make mine an exact replica like Grandpa's so that I can fish it. But on his, I'm going to take this lure as inspiration and do my own original design. Without further ado, let's get to making these lures. So I did go ahead and sketch this guy out. Pretty much copied it exactly, made my life a little easier. So I'm gonna cut it all out, get glued to wood, and go from there. Oh, also one more thing about this bait. It said the original ones were made out of cedar. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use cedar to make this. Got my pattern glued up on the cedar. So over to the bandsaw. Shout out to Dad. Thanks for letting me use your bandsaw, the old Craftsman. Got it up and going. So now I got an actual wood bandsaw. All right, got them cut out. The original ones were turned on a lathe. It would have been a heck of a lot easier to do this on a lathe. I may have already got this one too skinny. I may have to redo it. Well, that kind of blew out. Cedar. It's not going to be very forgiving. I have to say, cedar does not lend itself well to carving. It's definitely kind of chipping out. Now this part's going to be kind of tough because this is the other one that's kind of the one-off. I want some like these more bulging eyes, kind of like on a salamander or lizard, you know, where they've got these big kind of bulging eyes on top. So I got to figure out how to carve that. So I'm going to try to carve out in between his head here. No idea how to do that. I'm not a wood carver. I think what I'm going to do is just go to using a file. So I got this half round file, guys. See it there? It is almost the perfect. I mean, it's really close. I don't know if I can show this on camera, but you can see it just fits almost perfect in that little groove. Maybe not quite as deep in the middle, but I think it's gonna get really, really close. So I think I'll go over to the vise, put these guys in a vise, and then file just nice and even around that. Well, I got to this point and I've kind of screwed up. I don't like the head. I got it too small, I believe. I think I screwed it up actually when I was cutting on the bandsaw. I thought I could salvage it. But if you look right there, it's not much, but it just doesn't look right, doesn't match it. So I think I'm gonna start this one over real quick. Not gonna show that, but I'm gonna cut out a new one and try to get it shaped. This little guy is still pretty good shape, and hey, look at that. Finally, I think I'm back to square one where we should have been. Redid that one, as you can see. So I think next is what I'm gonna do is go back to the vise and cut some strips of sandpaper and shoe shine these guys up. Oh, on this one too, I did cut the bill out, the slot for the bill. Probably should have done that at the beginning on this one too, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to cut the slot for the bill out because I didn't do it on this one, so on the bandsaw. And just so you guys know, I want to give props to the guy who made this and this design. I'm not positive. A lot of Facebook, Google searching, trying to figure out info on this lure, but it came down to two options. It's either Jack Martin, who made the Martin Lizard. Then there was also another individual in Arkansas that made these, went by the name of Tate Bait and called the Old Liz, I think Old Liz, and then Martin's was the Martin Lizard. So we got these two guys all hand sanded up to 400 grit. I will have to say that this shape was kind of a pain in the butt to do. It's not perfect, but that's okay. What I'm gonna do next is I am going to drill out the eyeballs for this little guy and for this guy. But I did tell you I was gonna do this one, kind of my own design. So I'm gonna show you that right now, so you know what I'm doing. So here it is. This little salamander guy, I'm gonna have a screw-in tail. So I've got this is actually a Buka bull rat. So it's got a screw-in tail, and you can just use whatever soft plastic they sell this one. But I'm gonna try to make a screw-in tail for Colton's. But right now, let's drill some eyes. Tell you what, this cedar sucks. It is just blowing out on my little eye. Look at that. You guys can see it. It just like completely blew out on the side there. That really sucks. Probably should have super glued it. That's probably what I should have done first. Hit it with some super glue. Probably would have stiffened that wood up. Instead, blew it out. We'll fix it. I think that is where I want that eye. I am gonna put a little bit of super glue on this one. Try to hold that wood together a little better. Oh, geez. Come on. On this so it doesn't get worse. All right, maybe that'll keep it from blowing out as much. I think part of my problem was I was going too slow too with the drill. I know on some of these woods you got to go a little faster or it will want to chip out. So probably what I did on that last one. So lesson learned. Okay, well, it's time to drill the hardware. So I do have all my hardware laid out. I did have to grind these little eyelets down. They were a little too long. So I went over the belt sander, ground them down to the right length. So I've got my drill bits to drill those out. I'm putting a little bit of a smaller one on the back of this bait. And this one's a little bit smaller for this barrel swivel and that little blade spinner. So different size bit for that. But the one thing I don't have is my little twist lock keeper for my soft plastic tail I'm going to screw on to the end of this. So I took the tail off this little Buka bull rat, and you can see right there it just kind of has this little spring looking guy. I think it is actually kind of springy. I don't have any spring. I think what I'm going to do is just take some of the stainless wire and make a little keeper out of it. So let's do that before we drill the hardware out so that we know how big to drill this hole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to clamp this guy on here with these vice grips, and then just bend it around like that. to try and create a little keeper. So that'll be my little keeper. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, so I just bent that little guy over so that it makes this little screw keeper. I'll probably nip that off a little bit, but I need something to kind of hold on to easier. I'm gonna glue that. That piece will get drilled out and then get glued in there to that guy. So let's go ahead and drill out some hardware. Let's see if these guys fit. All right, that's gonna work. Just gonna barely miss my bill there. I did leave out one thing. Shoot, I wonder if I should have done that first. Dang it. I think it'll still work. So, you know, this one has those little kind of grommet, little rivet things. I don't really know what you call those. I have no clue what you call those things. So I want to put those on the original one. I don't know if I'll put it on the other one, on our little salamander or not, but I do have these. You guys can see that. They are actually for kydex, if you don't know. So on like knife sheaths, holsters, that stuff made out of kydex, you use these little eyelets, put them in there, and then you take arbor press and press them together. I'm pretty sure they're made out of brass, probably close to what those are. I'm assuming those are brass or aluminum, I have no idea. So I do have a little bit that's made specially for those. So I do need to drill those out next. I'm gonna mark with some tape so don't go too deep. Of course, it's gonna blow out. All right, I will not be drilling out the other one because this cedar just wants to freaking blow out. So I got that one put in there. You guys can see it just kind of drops in there. I think it looks kind of cool. It looks authentic to the original. So that's what we're gonna roll with this one. Kind of screw these in. I don't know where that went. I'll grab another one. I'm not even trying to find that. All right, there it kind of is. You guys can see that very well, but kind of what it'll look like. I think it's pretty dang close. Actually, the little rivet guys kind of cover most of my little blowouts, so that's good. What's the next step? Oh, wait, I gotta drill the end of this one. I just drilled this back one here. I didn't do it on camera, but totally the wrong bit. I grabbed the bit that had the blue tape on, thinking that was the one I had marked, but it was the other bit for these. And so now this guy just goes in without even, I can't thread it in now. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go upstairs and get a toothpick, super glue a toothpick in there, re-drill it. Okay, fixed it. Okay, let's try this again with the correct tiny bit. I did not need to drill it that deep. I don't know why I did that. And it's a little off center. It is a little off center. That is annoying as crap. Look. God dang it. I'm giving you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay. I think we did it. Success, finally. If you guys can see it. All right, I'm happy with that. Drill out the hole for this little keeper. See if I can find the right bit this time. Which I think it's this one. All right. So yeah, that guy will kind of go in there like that. So the idea is going to be to take one whatever soft plastic I end up doing, and being able to thread this guy on here, which is actually harder than I thought. I'm an idiot, guys. The reason it wasn't working very good because it's a backwards screw. I'm thinking righty-tighty, and it's actually a left-hand screw. So there you go. It does work. I'm an idiot. So yeah, that'll just go in there like that. And then boom, we got us a little tail. This isn't the one I'm going to use, obviously. This thing's like ridiculously long, but it's actually on there pretty strong. Yeah, I think the worm's going to break before it comes off. Sweet, that works. Okay, we got all the hardware drilled, installed, temporary. Now, I'm going to seal these guys up. Where my bill is, I kind of put a bunch in that bill, but I kind of want to get it pushed out of there. Okay, good enough. I've got it dripping all over my hand now. Okay, I think that guy is pretty good. It looks like it's soaked in there. Set him in there. Just kind of let those guys dry. I think that's going to be where I quit for the night. All right, so these guys have all dried up. So what I'm going to do next is try to get these bills cut. So this one's got this metal bill, super thin. I don't know what exactly it is. At first I thought it was aluminum, but then you can see I put a magnet on it. So it's kind of some kind of steel with maybe galvanized, I don't know. So I think what I'm going to use, and don't laugh, is this paint scraper. It's almost the exact perfect thickness that I need. I don't know, and they're pretty strong. I'm assuming they're some kind of maybe heat treated and tempered steel. I don't know. I'm going to try to cut it on the bandsaw, my metal bandsaw. I know I can grind it on my belt grinder. I've got ceramic belts. So I'm going to try to do that. But then on this guy, the big old salamander googly-eyed one, I think I'm going to use Lexan so I can make it clear. Oh man, that was freaking awful to cut out on the bandsaw. I mean, that's a metal blade, but like I said, I think this has probably got a heat treat to it. It's been tempered, so it's not like cutting mild steel, but I got it roughed. My belt grinder's got ceramic belts, so I'll just go hit it with that. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the Lexan one now. All right, well that one was like freaking way easier to cut out on bandsaw, obviously. So yeah, I'm gonna go back over to the sander and get them all cleaned up. Well, I got the bills all sanded. I hand sanded the edges, but I need to figure out where to drill my holes, my line tie to go through. So I'm gonna try to figure out that, punch those, and then on this one, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do because it's Lexan, so I think what I'm gonna do is drill a hole, make a line tie that I then drill back into the wood so that it's epoxied into the wood and not just wrapped around that Lexan. So that is hard. This is hardened steel, so. Jeez, who knew paint scrapers were so freaking hard? Finally, after burning up like every carbide ball end I have, I'm through. I don't know if they're straight, but we're gonna have to roll with that. All right, with that little fiasco over with, holes drilled, my stainless pin that I'm gonna make that little line tie out of fits through good. So, and then I'm going to make a line tie that fits through the middle of this Lexan bill that I'll end up kind of doweling back into this guy. So let's go try to make that. I got my Lexan bill, and then I've got this piece of stainless wire that I got threaded through there with just a loop. I'm gonna put it in the vise, chuck it up in the drill, twist it, and then kind of bend it to the angle that I want it. If you guys can see that, kind of got it in there, bent up where I want it. All right, I'm gonna try to drill this piece in here. Try to keep that bit parallel. Okay. A little off center. Okay, kind of what that looks like. The greatest, not bad. I think that'll work. Like I said, it's a little tiny off center, but we're gonna roll with that. I think if we epoxy the crap out of that, hopefully it'll stay. So I got two things left to make. I gotta make this little cup washer, and then I've gotta make this little blade for the spinner on the back. It's hard to see, but you know, most of these blades kind of are like cupped like a little spoon. So I've got these punches that I bought at Harbor Freight, and over the years I've been kind of grinding them into different shapes that I want for forging. So I think what I'm going to do is try to take one of these and grind the top of this to shape of this guy, and then that way I can kind of make a punch that I can get that nice little curve, little spoon-like indent on it that's nice and even. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to the grinder. Now it's not perfect, but I think it'll get me close. Alright, that might have worked. I don't know if you guys can see that little dent in there. So, I'm going to try to put this guy in here. Probably cut him off first. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Kind of. Maybe. Smash this little guy. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this or not, but as I was examining this closer, trying to figure out how they got this little guy on there, I noticed, I always thought this was like paint or something, right here where these two little nostril looking things are. Those are actually pins. They go all the way through and pin this bill on. So it's like one more thing I have to do. All right, I have got that bill finally attached to this lure. So I got the two little nostril pins that's going to hold that bill on. It's pretty close to being aligned, not perfect, but here's the original so you guys can see. I mean, I'm a little bit crooked, but I think I can kind of tweak it when I epoxy it in. So I think I'm ready to epoxy all the hardware in now, finally. There we go. It's all glued up, a little bit of a mess, so there'll be some cleanup, but then I'll have to sand down the little nostril pins, and gosh, we're gonna be having to water test this guy, kind of see what it looks like. It feels really front heavy. I expect it to sit like this, but doesn't have any hooks. Then I got to put a little spinner on the back, but that's where I'm gonna stop and let these guys dry. So I started this out by saying I didn't ever want to throw this because I didn't want to ruin it, but I really want to see what it does in the water, at least how it sits. So I am going to water test it. Hurry, dry it off. Okay, so there we go. All right, now this one, mine, I kind of expect it to sink. It's pretty heavy. The bill's a little thicker, so I don't know what's going to happen. Okay. He still floats. Could maybe add a little bit of weight to the back. But, we'll see. All right, so here's the other one that I made, but I'm not sure. This thing's super heavy. This is a 5-inch Senko. Probably not the right tail I'm going to use, but that's kind of what I had down here. So I'm going to throw it in the water and see what it looks like. Okay, so he floats pretty darn even. But this thing's super heavy. This is probably going to be a little thinner of a tail that I'm going to use. All right, well, it's time to paint these guys. So this one, the remake of the original, gonna stick to the same color. Looks like it's kind of a cream color, red eyes, and the black stripes down the body. And then on this guy, I asked my son, said, hey, what do you want me to paint this guy? And he said, well, just paint it like a lizard. And I was like, well, what kind of lizard? Salamander. And he goes, just make it look like the Geico gecko. So we're making it look like the Geico gecko. Let's get to it. So next I need to try doing this little stripe and the dots, which seems pretty simple, but I got a feeling it's not going to be that simple. I'm just going to have to, I think, go for it. It's not perfect. It's a little shaky, but we're going to roll with it. Well, it's the next day and these guys are all dried. Now I need to glue the eyes on, do the epoxy coating, and then these guys will be done. All right, they're coated. Now I'm just gonna rotate them by hand, get them in different positions about every 5 minutes. Well guys, here they are, all finished up. We've got Grandpa's original and my replica. Is it perfect? No, it is not. But it's pretty close, pretty true about to the originals that I can get with the skills that I currently have. So his heads, I still didn't get that dang head quite right. If you look, it's just a little bit off. I think the shape of it's just a little off. And then obviously this one weighs a little bit more. So, but I think it turned out pretty dang good. I'm pretty happy with this. It's not perfect, like I said. The paint's a little shaky. I did get a bubble over here on one eye for some reason. But hopefully I can go out and fish it and we'll still catch some fish. Now this guy, the lizard, AKA the Geico Gecko, I think it turned out pretty sweet. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks cool. I got the little soft plastic on the end. Don't know if that's the exact one, you know, that I'm gonna end up always having on there, or see if my boy wants, what Colton wants to do. But I thought the color looked pretty good. It kind of matched the belly. It's kind of white. It kind of turns white. I just wish it was a little thinner. Not the end of the world. I think it'll still do its thing, but we will see. They're both done. They're sealed. They're dried. Let's go see what they look like in the water. It has been colder than crap here in Missouri. Our pond's frozen. I got the pool winterized. I have really no way of testing these, so we're going to try to get out to the lake and test these guys. All right, guys, we are out here at the lake. We're going to try out these new lures. It's been freaking cold. It's a finally nice day, but it's really windy, so we'll give it a shot. We'll see what goes, how it goes.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think we're going to catch anything?
No.
He's never optimistic. All right, let's do it. All right, let's see what these things have got. I'll try to get some footage of them in the water, but it's kind of hard in the kayak. She dives quick. You guys probably aren't going to be able to see it, but hopefully Grandpa is looking down and give us a little help. Hopefully he helps Colton out. And I would love for him to help me out too, but catch something. Colton always gets his butt kicked at the lake, so I'd love it for him to catch something.
I have my one cut gloves here, homemade. I just cut off.
It's freaking wind coming right around this point, and just I feel like I'm going nowhere. Struggle is real. Well, that's a wrap on this build. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it. I appreciate you if you're here towards the end, sticking around. Appreciate that. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave us some comments. I want to hear about you know, hey, if you fish this lure, you got this lure, the original, maybe your grandpa's got one. What other cool old lures that I can remake or completely redesign? I learned a lot, but also I've got a lot to learn when it comes to lure building. So if you're enjoying this content, you're kind of learning along with me, or just like watching the lures being made videos, let me know. I know me and the boy are trying to grow this channel, so hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I think we just passed 500 subs as I was working on this video, so that's awesome, man. We appreciate it. I got plenty of more lure builds to do. I got tons of ideas, but also, if you got ideas, shoot my way. Leave it in the comments saying, hey, I'd love to see you make this lure. Or if you saw something like, hey, how'd you do this? I'm learning, I'm researching, doing tons of research. Hopefully I can condense that research and maybe offer some of that in these videos. I got a lot of cool builds planned for the future, so stick around. Thanks for watching.